So welcome to another unboxing video from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander, and today we're taking a look at a brand new game from CSL. This is called Mons 1914. This is obviously a World War I game, 1914, so it's first year of the war. It's just the fighting in and around Mons. This is designed by Ray Weiss, who is also the proprietor of CSL. He owns the publishing company. He founded it so he could publish a lot of his own games. Now it looks like there was some development by Matthew Baumgartner and Matt Ward. Okay, so two-player war game. This is Hex Encounters, and if you don't know CSL, check out their website. It's a newish company. It's only a few years old, but they have a very surprisingly large catalog. Ray's been designing a lot of games for a lot of companies over the years, and they do have a good chunk of games on there. So this one, solitaire 7 out of 10, sure. With 1 to 2 players, probably just two-handed, not bad. And for them, weight 8 out of 10. So this one's a little bit more on the crunchy side as far as their games go. So, let's have a little look here. What we've got is... Sorry, just checking the camera because we're testing a brand new camera, if you hadn't been able to tell. So that we have the small map in here, we have the rules book, and then we have a single sheet of counters. That's what you get in this box. And that's what you get in a lot of CSL games, a lot of CSL's boxes. It's not massively overly complicated. They use Blue Panther to make these, so you do get that distinctive smell, is what I'm going to call it, from the maps and the counters. Those thick ones that you punch out, kind of like Hollandspieler. So, Mons 1914. This is a small little, even smaller than A5 rulebook, but it's bi-column. Not really a lot of diagrams, but the rules are reasonably spaced. Just going to read some text. We're going to learn a war game, but it's not a whole lot of pages. And on the back of it, we've got our little play aid, which has our CRT on it, terrain effects chart, and some combat modifiers. So you just keep this handy. That's going to be your little play aid. We have a single sheet of counters here. And these counters, again, because of the printing method, they are very crisp and clear on them, and they can get a lot of details onto these counters, which I appreciate. And it's just one side of them. So we got our grey, presumably German combat units. We've got our brown Allied BEF units here as well. And we have a reduced side, which has these red factors on them as well. And then we have some administrative markers for spotted, fired, and exhausted. So whilst it might be an 8 out of 10 in complexity, the counter density isn't overwhelming. The complexity doesn't come from that end of it, which I, again, appreciate. So the last thing we've got in this is the map. And this is... Alright. So this is, I believe, a 22 by 17 map, is the size of it. And it is obviously single-sided, but this is a very heavy paper. This is heavier than a lot of other major wargame companies use. As such, I don't know if you can kind of see, there's a lot of kind of bendage, but if you put a plexi over this, it flattens out immediately. I've got like a top-loading plexi that I use, but you can just use a couple of books to flatten this out overnight and just play it the next day. But as you can see, again, with the printing methods that they use, it's not photorealistic, but there is a lot of detail in the terrain. In the trees, the shrubs, we have these, what I presume are fields and farmland here. A lot of detail. It does have the hex numbers printed on there, and they have made them large so you can see them, but subtle enough in that the colors kind of meld into the background. So when you're playing, you're not going to be... There's not just like big black and white, bright hex numbers everywhere. But to counteract the it being hard to see with the colors, they've made them large. So they're still, to me, very readable. We got nice little detail here. But that's it, right? You got a little turn track up the side, some hexes. We got a little village town that we're going to be fighting over here. There's some relief. So we have a hill over here, it looks like. And again, hill up here as well, and it looks great. It should be reasonable to play on, just looking at the map. The little counters, we'll just punch a couple of these so you can see what they're like if you've not played any games from a company that uses Blue Panther. These are all very typical of what they use. So these are the counters. They have they're like it's got a board in here, and they have almost like a plastic sheet kind of printed onto it. It's a very durable material, and as such they're very crisp, but you do get these little nubs on them. Nothing you can really do about that unless you want to cut them off with a knife. But just wanted to show you this. This is one that we're excited to play. CSL's games are always something interesting and new, and this is Mons 1914, a World War I game from CSL. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I've been Alexander from theplayersaid.com.